Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be talking about why should you buy a used RV. A lot of us spend a lot of time looking at all the new ones and going to RV shows, but sometimes you're passing up on opportunities for really good deals on used RVs. So let's talk about why you should maybe look into getting a used RV rather than a new.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions.
So with us, it took us basically 2 years searching.
Everywhere.
Old, new, in between. Yes.
Yeah, and we were resigned to the fact that we're going to have to pay $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 for the fifth wheel we wanted to go and get a new Grand Design or whatever else. And then we got a phone call from my parents saying, "Hey, we found you a trailer." And I said, "What are you talking about?" Because they don't RV. They were on a road trip in Bullhead City, Arizona, down by Havasu, and they happened upon this trailer and said, "You need to check it out."
You may have to travel 15 hours one way to go get it.
Yeah, but it's worth it to save $20,000, $30,000. As an example, our trailer new cost MSRP about $90,000. We paid out the door $30,000 for it. That's a lot of depreciation. We've had it for 5 years. It's a 2008. It basically sat down in the desert, not moving, for the rest of its life.
Alright guys, I am here to introduce you to Goldie. This is our 2008 Carriage Domani. So you may think, a 2008? Yes, and you cannot tell that from this full body automotive paint. The finish on this thing is great. There is no sun rot.
You can even see Kara's reflection in it now. One thing with used trailers is you can get a high-end trailer for a really good price because RVs depreciate so much. Anybody that's bought one knows that as soon as you buy it, you lost 20 grand right off the top. And why not let somebody else take that hit? If you can find a good used trailer that somebody else has taken the hit on, that's money in your pocket.
Going used for a new RVer is probably ideal. You're not out a whole lot of money if you absolutely hate it. But if you love it, then you can invest, upgrade, go new, modify. So the other good reason, if you are getting new into RVing and you don't have that tow vehicle, you now have to buy the tow vehicle also. So you can share that money and buy the RV and the tow vehicle.
Anybody that's owned an RV knows they're going to break down. That is just the constant. Today before we left, I was underneath ours trying to fix the underbelly a little bit.
So Jesse is doing a last minute, non-anticipated repair to this belly board.
Oh, come on.
What you doing?
Just cussing. It just happens with brand new, high-end anything. And a lot of those bugs get worked out in the first few years. So if you buy a used RV, sometimes those bugs are gone. The previous owner already had those problems, they've fixed them, and now it's yours and you don't have to worry about those things. I'm not saying that you're not going to have other things come along, but at least some of those early stage things that usually happen won't be your problem. Another reason to buy used is once you buy it, you have to be able to afford to go out and use it and store it and pull it and pay for the vehicle to pull it and gas and all those sort of things. There's lots of other costs that come along with RVing. So if you can save some money buying a used RV, that frees up so much cash for all the other things that come along. Maybe it's upgrades, maybe it's paddle boards, maybe it's bikes, all that stuff. It frees up the cash so you have those opportunities as well. That way you aren't RV broke.
Now, by no means, guys, do you need to go big and extravagant.
Yeah.
Go with what you feel is the right size. Maybe you already have that tow vehicle, so find something
That's appropriate for it.
appropriate.
Think it through, get what you can and can afford to use. And a used RV might be the way to go. RV sales right now are through the roof. Kara works at an RV dealership.
I can
and
testify to that.
They do not have any to sell. Everyone that comes in is gone. So in a year, 2 years, there's going to be a lot of basically brand new RVs that have been used a few times that people bought during this pandemic. And you're going to be able to snag one for a really good price. A lot of those things that you think that you need in the new ones, you'll find that you really don't. Our 2008 has everything that we need, and we've added the few things that it didn't. We put in a bigger TV, we put in the backup camera, a few things like that, but other than that, they're basically the same. If you follow and stay up to date with RVing, you've probably heard a lot of people complain of their new RVs just not being built as well, and that's kind of the truth. You can find an older used RV that's built much better, especially if you're looking at those higher end that now have came down in value. If you're looking at the older ones, Mobile Suites, now owned by Thor, used to be owned by DoubleTree and built basically the nicest trailer you could buy at the time, or one of them. Carriage, Lifestyle, brands that didn't make it through the recessions but built really high quality RVs. If you go back a little bit farther, the older Montanas were really, really high quality, nice RVs that just held up so well. And by buying some of these older RVs, you can update them and still have a high quality RV, rather than buying a new one that has some fancy LED lighting but is built like every other RV that's out there and maybe not built as well as those older RVs.
Thanks, guys, for checking us this week on Junk Junkies. Hopefully this information was helpful.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check out those used RVs. Sometimes you find that diamond in the rough.
Yeah, you can sometimes get a much higher quality RV for a lower price with just a few years of use. And for us, it's worked out really nice. So don't just bypass those as they're old pieces of junk. You can sometimes find that diamond. Thanks for watching.
And enjoy your weekend.